It may be cold weather in Florida, but I am ready for the spring. Let's make some nails about it. Girls, I am back from my wedding, my honeymoon break, and I took my wedding nails off already. It is time to break into all these spring designs. I don't know if you know, but spring designs are my favorite designs of the entire year, more specifically because of those little dotting tool flowers that we can make. We're gonna make a whole lot of them today. But of course, we're gonna start with a manicure because my natural nails need a little bit of prep before we put the tips on, which, by the way, I have an update on the tips that I'm using, but we'll get there. Obviously, I'm gonna start by pushing all the cuticles. Actually, no, I'm gonna start off by cutting my nails. So I've seen a few nail techs cutting nails with cuticle nippers. So I'm going to give it a shot and see how I feel. I've done it a couple times and it's always kind of like awkward like it is right now. I mean, it's effective and it saves me from opening one of the nail clippers and having to disinfect it. Now I'm going to file them to clean up those edges. Even though they're under the extensions, I still like to have a clean edge on the nails, but I'm not one of those girls that really cares to grow my natural nail under an extension. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I am not a huge fan of growing your natural nails out as long as they'll go. They're not like extensions. Like when they grow out, they're not gonna look like a Prey, Gel X or acrylic or anything like that. Like they're gonna grow in all different directions. It's not gonna be consistent. And then if you break one, now you're on a whole new journey. So I feel like it's a little overrated to grow your natural nails, or maybe I'm just bitter. I wasn't always that way, of course. I used to always want to grow out my natural nails, and I would be like putting on cuticle oil every day, and I would be putting on layers of nail strengthener. You guys remember that? Nail strengthener? Is that still a thing? I think it is. I think I saw it at the store the other day, but I'm not a nail strengthener girl. See? Looking fine. And now when we put the extensions on, it's going to be nice and clean under there. Next up, some cuticles. I had my appointment for my wedding nails pretty recently, so there's not a lot of cuticle there to push or to collect. But of course, I'm still going to do the prep because you always want clean nails under your extensions and you don't want your extensions to fall off. Time for the nip nip. This is my actual grip whenever I have clients, but whenever I'm doing my own nails, I kind of like am doing every which way to try and make it work, but it's usually like this. I learned that grip from the owner of the salon that I worked at because he was looking at the grip that I did before, which was like this, I guess, like this. And he thought that was insane. So he taught me like the professional way of doing it, which is like that. See, now the thumb is where things get complicated because I need the nail to like face me, in order for the nipper to work how I intend it to. And I know what you're thinking. Why don't I just turn it around and do it like this and trim like this? Let me tell you. All right, look at the blade. You see, I'm opening and closing it right now. You see which one stays still and which one moves? You see that top one is staying still and the bottom one is the one doing the biting. So if I put my nippers on the thumb like this, then the part that doesn't move is gonna just sit on the nail and the part that munches is gonna be on the skin, which you don't want. That's why when you're doing a client, let me get into a crazy position here. You want the still blade to be on the skin so that way you can control exactly what you want to cut. If you do it the other way around, that's how you cut people. So even though the position looks crazy, it's definitely the safer way to go today. All right, my cuticles are trimmed and I'm actually getting into a new habit of pushing them back again after I trim them because I always find a little bit of additional dead skin matter here. I'm doing it on my clients, and so far their nails have been lasting. And now my secret weapon, the buffer, will get any remaining cuticles that may be stubborn on that nail plate. I never like to buff too much because this is always a step that's like kind of dangerous. If you buff too much, then you could create a little ring of fire, which is when you shave the nail down too much so that when it grows out, you actually see the difference in the shaved nail and the new nail. Not good. I avoid that by using a buffer block as opposed to my e-file. And before you come for me, you can achieve a good buff on an e-file without a ring of fire. It's just my preference. But you know, I'm super interested in learning how to do a manicure the Russian way with an e-file. So maybe we can try that together. All right, these babies are prepped. Now we're going to clean them with a brush and we're gonna get right to the extensions. I wash my nails aggressively. I bathe them first in alcohol and then I just go to town with this little brush. This is the step where I typically tell my clients to go wash their hands, but I've recently been experimenting with this. I feel like it's a little bit better. I'm doing the washing. I know exactly what needs to be done, okay? You see this aggressive washing? Are they doing that? I don't know. I can't risk that. I need these babies clean before I put something on there. So before I hit it with a little bit of primer, I'm actually gonna go ahead and size my tips so that I won't have to touch my nail with my natural oils and ruin it. Okay, I have something to share with you. On every single nail look that we have done together, they have been medium almond. You know that medium almond and I were married for a very long time. And if you heard me, you heard me right. I've chosen a new shape. And it was actually at the suggestion of one of my clients. She said one thing that made me reconsider my entire choice in nail shape. And she said that almond nails look bulbous, you know, like kind of round. And that got me thinking. I started looking at all my nail looks from before and I felt kind of the same way. So I broke up with her. And my new replacement is her cousin, medium round. Okay, now let me get into this shaping or to this sizing. My middle fingernail is so weirdly shaped. It's sometimes hard to get the right size. And maybe that's why I never remember my size because I'm always testing out different sizes. And I know what they say, sidewall to sidewall. So on this side, I mean, that's pretty good, right? But then when you look at the other side, sometimes you see like this teeny tiny little bit outside. What do? Do I get a bigger one and file it down? Do I just get a bigger one and cover it all up? These are the choices I'm dealing with every day. Okay, we're all sized up. Time for the final prep before we put them on. I try and go in every direction. No dust can hide in the nooks and crannies of this nail. I can't afford it. And I'm gonna throw on some primer. I've even recently changed my primer method because I had one, and I mean just one client send me a picture that her nail fell off, and that caused me to reevaluate my entire process. Another change that I made was using base gel instead of a layer of the extend gel under the nails. So this is a huge change that I've heard from so many nail techs. So if you haven't heard it, now you have. Apparently using base gel is way better for your retention than using the soft gel that is to attach the tips. Not sure why, but I'm sure it has to do with the fact that base gel is meant to hold on to other gel, you know what I'm saying? Yet another thing that I have added to my process is this primer for the actual tip. So this is not for the natural nail, this is for the tip. It's gonna chemically etch it so that it has like a rough surface for all the gel to seep into and attach. All right, gotta break out my lights, my little lights. So here's what I do with that prep for the tip. Firstly, I'm gonna keep the black light away. I'm gonna open up here. So I get like a lot and I just scrub that thing. I scrub it. You see how it's starting to make all these etches? And they say once you etch the logo away, like the little logo that's on the front usually, or it's actually on the inside, but you get what I'm saying. If you etch that away, then you're all good to go. So this one's etched. Let's stick it. Get a little bit. This extend gel is so hard to work with when it's full because there's so much gel just everywhere, bro. I keep it kind of scarce with this gel. You can see I'm swiping a lot, but that's because I'd rather have a little bit less than a little bit more. I placed my thumb a little higher than I wanted to, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna roll with it. Overall, I am happy with the application. She's looking good. I'm gonna bake this, buff this, and we'll get to painting. Woo, tell me these nails don't look good, girl. My process has improved since I started this channel. But then again, I started this channel from the very beginning, so we're gonna give her one more alcohol bath before we start because all that buffing is a lot of dust. Bath time. Wow, it looks so flush. And for the thumbnail that I put a little bit too high, I basically just filed it so that it would be a little more flush with the nail. And when I put the gel polish, hopefully it'll like fill it all in. I could also probably put a thick layer of base gel so that way it can like fill in that little crevice, but we'll see. For this design, I have 3 colors for you. I have Fur White, I have Jiggles, and French Vanilla. Jiggles is really the star of the show, okay? She's gorgeous. Out of my whole collection, this is the one that I was most excited to wear for the springtime, and springtime is here, so here we are. Ooh, that pink is nice and bright. Tell me that is not such a cute color combination. I'm so loving it. Well, my camera conveniently died as I was doing my second coat, but that's okay because we're back on track, okay? So I'm gonna bring out my little leaf with some white gel on it. And we're gonna do the straightest line of dotted flowers that I can possibly do. I have my dotting tool here. Maybe I should put like a line to guide the flowers. I think I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna whip out this matte top coat so that I can paint a clear straight line on this nail, cure it, and still be able to see it and paint on it. In the center, I feel like is right here. Oh my gosh, look at all these dots, these like drips of product. This is going to be more difficult than I thought. You see that there's like a big glob at the end. Like, how am I supposed to paint a straight line with that? I feel like that's pretty good. You probably can't see it, but I definitely can. Beautiful. Okay, even though you can't see it, I can. I have a straight line cured on the nails, which is gonna serve as a lovely guide for my flowers. And I have to decide what size flower I'm gonna want. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the smaller side. And I just gotta go slow and steady here, I guess, right? I guess I'm gonna start by putting like the center of each flower down first. And be an even distance from one another. Even though I'm eyeballing it. Oh my god, they look so off center. I'm scared. I'm scared. Yeah, they do kind of look off center. Quick wipe, and we're back. I actually also have this cuticle pusher that might work. This is how I used to do it when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had a pencil and I would put a regular nail polish ball on it like this and then let it dry so that it would become its own little dotting tool. Already, I'm gonna bail. I don't like it. I'm telling you guys, the simplest designs are the most difficult ones because you can see every little mistake. Okay, does that look good? Can you see it? Oh my gosh, the light is shining so bright. Oh, it doesn't even look centered. Why are my shapes not looking centered? Maybe I should lay my hand on the table like this so that I can like kind of see it from this different angle. You know, when I put it flat, it's facing away from me and it's all counterintuitive. All right, let's wipe it off and do it again. This time I'm gonna lay my hand this way. Yeah, that's way more center. Okay. There's a flower. Yeah, not as cute as I thought. We're gonna try again. And I'm supposed to make like 20 of these right now. And just keep trying. Keep trying. Okay, I think I did it, guys. I think I did it this time. Boom. Now we have 2 flowers. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so we're working on something, and I think I'm gonna keep rolling with this. Oh my god, these flowers are looking a little abstract, not as clean and beautiful as I was hoping. But you know what? It's kind of creating another style, so I'm gonna go with it. This last one sort of crashed and burned, but okay, there's our first nail. We're getting somewhere, okay? Let me clean these up, and then I'm gonna cure it so that way we can like, you know, make a decision, finalize it, and move on. That's my biggest challenge is moving on and not wiping it and starting over. So this is where that cuticle pusher is gonna really help me. I can get into the teeny tiny little details of these flowers and really clean it up. I actually think I like these cute little irregular flowers. It's 100% not what I was going for, but that's how art goes, right? You just do and you see what happens. It's more about the journey. I guess I'm gonna cure this. And I think I decided I want the centers to be pink because the way that it was looking right now, I really liked it. So we're gonna do pink centers. And it's looking good. Time for the thumb. The thumb is the hardest, man, because it just doesn't sit right on the hand. I'm just gonna have to try my best. I'm gonna go at this right angle here because that's like what's most stable. Okay, I'm actually starting to believe in my vision. I'm gonna put the centers to these flowers and then the French tips on these natural nails. And of course, I'm gonna grab a little bit of a smaller dotting tool for the centers so that way I don't totally overpower the little flowers. Alrighty, we have our row of flowers and it's looking so cute. All I have to do now is add the French tips, top coat it, and it's time for a reveal. Tell me these nails are not gorgeous. They are so perfect to welcome in the spring season. They're so delicate. And tell me how you feel about this almond versus round situation. Do you see what I'm seeing about the round? Like, it looks straight. I like it a lot. And I don't know if I'll ever go back to almond after this.